I'm on my way to school to meet my study group. Surprisingly, we don't have a real business case we need to discuss today, but we still decided to meet to grab breakfast together. I saw a lot of young kids waiting on the street for their school buses. The schools opened several weeks ago. They were all closed last year because of the pandemic. A lot of my friends who are parents are actually super happy because they finally can kick their kids out of their house.
This is the cafe at Spangler Hall at HBS. I still have a pretty Chinese stomach. I don't do very well with cold food, so I'm going to grab some food from the hot bar here. And this is my friend Dave. On Saturday, we had our Section Olympics. Sections competed with each other in 6 different games.
Hi people, it's my weekly wrap-up time again. This week I want to share 2 things. The first thing is a kind of counterintuitive concept I learned from my finance class. In one of our finance classes this week, our professor asked everyone whether it was okay for a company to keep borrowing money from investors or creditors. My first intuition was no, because the more debt, the more money you borrow from people, the more risk you take. But apparently, the answer to that question was yes. So basically, if you have a business, you can keep borrowing money from people as long as you make your creditors and investors happy, meaning you, for example, pay your interest on time, you use the money you borrowed to grow your business efficiently. There is nothing wrong with using other people's money to grow your business, even if you plan to borrow money forever. To me, that's kind of like a counterintuitive concept. The second thing I want to talk about is the bystander intervention training my section did this week. What I'm going to talk about is related to sexual harassment, which may trigger very uncomfortable feelings in some people, so feel free to skip this part of the video. The reason why I want to make a video about this is I think sexual harassment is a very serious issue in the society. It's a very traumatic experience to the victims. Even at HBS, from time to time, there would be students reporting unwanted touching, kissing, or forced sexual intercourse. So it does happen. The purpose of the bystander intervention training my section had was to encourage people to help the victim when they see sexual harassment happen. During the session, we talked about bystander effect. This is actually a psychological term describing that people are less likely to help the victim when there are other people present. People just subconsciously feel that if they don't help, there would be other people stepping up to help the victim. But the reality is, in those kind of situations, it depends on all of us to really act to save that one victim. We talked about 3 common strategies people always use to intervene. The first one is direct. So it basically means you yourself go up to the offender and stop him or her. The second strategy is distract. Basically, you try to distract people from sexual harassment situations. Let's say you are in a party and you see sexual harassment happening. You could spill a drink intentionally and then ask the victim of the sexual harassment to help you clean the mess. You basically remove that person from the sexual harassment situation. The third strategy is delegate. By delegate, I'm not talking about we just pretend we don't see the sexual harassment. I'm talking about you go to someone who is in higher power. Let's say you're still in that party. You could choose to go to the party host to let him or her know about the situation so that the host can step in to intervene. Either of the strategies, just make sure you do something when you see sexual harassment, because it does mean a lot to the victim. One of my section mates shared his personal story. He was in the party one night and there was one guy following him the whole night and touching him unwantedly. No one said anything. The next day, several friends of my section mate actually came to my section mate to ask if he was okay, because they did see the inappropriate behavior of that man. Well, my section mate really appreciated people's kind words afterwards. He said he really wished someone could have stepped up in that party at that moment to save him. And I think we all have to know that the last time the victim was someone else, it was my section mate. Next time, the victim can be any of us. To finish this part, I want to share the ending remark the bystander intervention training facilitator shared with my section. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. So please take care of each other.
Okay, that's it for this week. We are still in the pandemic and the flu season is coming up as well. So please eat well, sleep well, exercise more, stay healthy and strong. I'll see you next time.